Thinking about leaving your soul sucking 9 to 5 job, one of the biggest struggles I see people, especially as women, face is the idea of having that safety net, that enticing perks and benefits, and listening to that head trash of what will people think if I leave. I totally get it, and I've been where you are. That's why I created a free guide to help you if you're thinking about putting in that notice. It's called Unlocking Your Exit Plan. Discover 5 things you need to do before leaving your 9 to 5. This guide is filled with worksheets and steps so you will have hand holding along the way. You can download your copy in the link in the show notes, and again, it's totally free. Now back to today's episode. Hey, Candice here, and I love all things business and marketing. But my biggest hurdle is my 9 to 5. That's right, you heard it. I still work a 9 to 5. And while I like getting consistent income, I'm not able to maximize my God-given talent and all that I know I can be in this world. So instead of dreaming of quitting my 9 to 5, I am on a quest to making those dreams become reality. Come on this journey with me as I climb mountains, jump through hoops, and leap over hurdles to start and grow a business. What am I going to do? I don't know. What type of business will I start? Who knows? When will I give my notice? Only God knows. But one thing I want to share, and that is this journey with you. So come on this roller coaster ride with me and enjoy the fun. Welcome back to another episode of the Healthiest Dorsey podcast. I'm your host, Candice, and we are going to continue on to the perfect lie we tell ourselves. So in this episode today, I actually was going to do 2 separate episodes for this one, but I think these two kind of tie in together. So the 2 are, I'm a bad fill in the blank, and I don't do anything right. So these are the lies that we tell ourselves. So we tell ourselves, oh, I'm a bad mother. I'm a bad person. I'm a bad daughter, or I'm a bad employee, or I'm a bad supervisor. It's not that you're a bad XYZ. So think about, at what point are you telling yourself that? Is it when maybe you forgot to pick up the kids? Or maybe you forgot to do dinner? Or maybe your boss told you to do something and you completely forgot to do it, and then you got yelled at for not doing it. Or maybe your wife told you, don't forget to pick up the kids to daycare. Your golf buddy said, hey, we're going out for a quick round of golf. You want to, join? You completely forgot about the kids because that's something you don't normally do. And you went out to golf with them. I know I probably don't have a lot of guys on here, but this is, ladies, is just a scenario. So if this happened to your husband, he's not a bad husband. He's he's just a little absent-minded. You go out to the golf course, and then next thing you know, he forgot to pick up the kids. No, you're not a bad father. You're not a bad husband. You're not a bad wife. You're not a bad mother. You're not a bad dad. It's just that you didn't prioritize. You didn't prioritize your time right. So therefore, the things that was important, it kind of went over your head because you didn't, number one, probably didn't write it down. Number two, didn't prioritize your time right. Number three, you just completely forgot. But just because of those things happen doesn't make you bad anything. We tell kids, when they, when a boy, hit a girl when he's like a toddler and he hits a girl, and or if he jump up and down or something, have a tantrum or whatever, that child isn't bad. He just haven't been taught the correct way of doing things. So you constantly keep telling somebody, oh, you bad boy, or something like that, and you tell your dog that too, or your cat that, a bad cat or bad this, when they do something wrong. You don't say that. You just teach them. You say, no, you don't do that right. You don't do that. That's not right what you're doing. That's inappropriate. You can't do that. You don't hit girls. Boys are not supposed to hit girls. Just correct those type of behaviors and know those type of behaviors, and don't react to a negative. Just if you see that happen, you basically just tell that child, this is the reason why you don't do this. This is the reason why you don't do that or that, rather than saying no, bad, da 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 da. You're being bad. You're acting bad. You're really bad at this. You don't do that because bad is the devil. Okay, we don't want to associate behavior type things to the devil and his behavior. You know, those are things that we don't want to associate our children or our husband or our wife or our spouse, our friends or mother or whatever, to those type of behaviors. It's just a matter of prioritizing, correcting, making sure that those behaviors are not repetitive in a way. I hope you're getting this. I really do. Just change that I'm a bad, and change it on yourself too. Oh my goodness, I forgot to pick up the kids. I'm a bad mother. No, you're not. You just forgot to pick up the kids. Okay. That can happen to anybody, especially when you get old. Okay. I go downstairs and my mom can tell me to get something. And then the minute I hit that last step on the stairs and I go in the kitchen, I'm doing XYZ, doing all this stuff, and I go back up the stairs and she's like, "Where's my cookies?" And I'm like, "Oh my goodness, I forgot." And then now she can just look like, "I really want to do something to you right now. I want my cookies." So then I have to go back downstairs and get the cookies. It's not that I'm a bad daughter because I forgot. It's just that I got distracted. That's what I want to say. Got distracted. Let's scratch the word bad and let's turn that into something a little bit positive. What's the next one? I don't do anything right. That sounds like something that someone in your past told you, and therefore you identified with what they were telling you, and now you become that of what they told you. So I know you're like, "What, Candice?" Oh my goodness. I know, it's so funny. So I'm going off subject a little bit. So it's so funny when I write down these things that come to me and I say, "Okay, yeah, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say XYZ in my podcast." And I could be sitting here and I could just be talking, and all the stuff that I'm telling you guys, it is not scripted at all. Everything, I just have a list of the perfect lies that we tell on ourselves. And then whatever comes to me, I just let the Lord lead and guide me. It's called the Holy Spirit. Just let him talk to me. Whatever it is that he wants me to tell you about these certain topics. Because trust me, these topics didn't come to me just all of a sudden. I was asleep. And all of a sudden this came to me. And of course I have to write it down, because anything that comes to me at nighttime, I have to write it down. That's how I wrote my first book. That's how I wrote my other books as well. Is the ideas that come to me, I have to write it down. And when it's done and it's out of my head, then I can go from there and expound on them. So just to let you know, none of this is scripted at all. I don't do scripts. I don't edit as much. I like to be as human as possible. So I don't do anything right. So like I said, it's someone who told you that. More than likely, it's probably either a spouse or a parent or maybe a boss. So who's actually telling you you don't do anything right? And are you telling yourself that too? So now it's in your head that you don't do anything right. So now you have identified with not doing anything right, and it has completely destroyed your personality. I want you to think about that. So if you're telling yourself that, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think about where that came from. Because in order to get somewhere, you have to break free from that and know that we make mistakes as humans. We don't do anything right. If you think about us humans, we're not perfect. We're learning. It's not the fact that you don't do anything right, it's just you are in a learning process. So maybe your boss did say, "I told you to do this weeks ago and you didn't do it. And then now I have another project for you to do that I told you to do, and you didn't do it correctly like you did the last one. You don't do anything right." No, you didn't train me correctly. Boom, let's drop the mic. You didn't train me right. So therefore, if the project is not right, It's not because I didn't do it right, it's because you didn't train me right. Let's flip the switch, people. Let's change that from I don't do anything right to you didn't teach me right. You didn't teach me the correct way. So, how am I supposed to know what to do, what's right? I'm going based off of what I know. You showed me very little. I watched a lot of movies on TV, and I've seen some movies, especially in Lifetime movies, where the mom have this one daughter that they love a lot, and then they have another daughter who's just not like the first daughter, which is okay. I mean, why would parents make a separation or differences with children? That's another podcast episode. So normally what happens is the daughter that is not like the one that they like, the parent always like, you can't do anything right. How come you can't be like your sister? Da-da-da-da. I'm pretty sure all of us can relate. I don't have any siblings, thank goodness. If I did, I probably moved far, far, far away, but I'm happy to be the only child. But I see it so much. You don't do this like XYZ. You don't do this like da 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 da. How come you can be like your sister? How come you can't be like your brother? You don't never do anything right. Well, you're not a good example. Have you thought about that? Have you thought about your focus has been so much on the wonderful child that you like so much and not enough on me? And why is that? Start digging. Start getting to the root of these things. Because when parents say that to kids, something happened. Or more than likely, something happened to them. And their parents told them that. It's kind of like a trickle effect. It's kind of like a domino effect that happens throughout generation and generation to generation. We got to break that. You have to break those chains. Another thing is maybe the parent had two different fathers. The one that they had, the child they liked, they probably liked the husband. Something happened to him, probably died or something, something like that. And they probably had the other child by someone who did not treat them well. So they start treating that child weird and different. Or it could be they had, maybe a boyfriend, who wasn't crazy about that child, but kind of like that child. So they start treating the other child. It is so much stuff, so many things, especially when it comes to relationships, parents, grandparents, child, mother, father, employee, employer, so many different relationships. And there's a break. It's like it's so weird. I go on like this for days, but the level of communication, the things that we tell our employees and our children, different things like that, do you realize what it messes them up? It messes them up. So now they start believing that the things that you're saying about them is true, and they carry that throughout their whole life. And then they live as if they are that thing, and then they live by it, they die by it, and they never was happy in their life because that one thing that you kept telling them about themselves that was not true. Okay, we got to break that. So if someone in your life told you those things, I want you to break it today. And I want you to understand whatever was going on in their messed up mind is their issue and not yours. Okay? That's their issue, not yours. If your boss say you don't never do anything right, that's your issue, not mine. Because you didn't train me properly. You didn't tell me what it is that you wanted to do. You didn't communicate that well to me. So that's your problem, not mine. Okay? That's on you, not me. I'm going to sit over here in my cubicle and eat my apple. And then you figure out what the problem is because I did my part. I want you to start recognizing those things and those triggers, and I want you to flip it and break it. Okay? Because, like I said, it is not your problem, it's their problem. That person that's telling you those things. So, I don't think I'm going to have homework assignment today. Probably have a homework assignment for the next episode. But today, I just want you to if something like this is happening in your life or has happened in your life, or someone has told you that you don't do anything right, I want you to think about that rather than reacting and taking it all in and say, "Oh, they're right. It's true. It's true. I don't do anything right." I want you to pause and I want you to think about it. Why are they saying that? Here it is. I'm trying to do the best that I can at whatever it is I'm trying to do. But why are they saying that? And I want you to go to that person and say, I'm basically doing what you told me to do. I don't do anything right because you, there's something wrong with you and you can't see it. So you need to fix you. Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. I will hear from you. You will hear from me in the next podcast episode. Take care. Bye. Hey, thank you for tuning in to another episode. Now, can you do me a favor? If you love this episode, please write a review. Let me know what you think or send a shout out on Instagram at csdorsey_hello. I can't wait to read your love notes.